but I wanted to talk about meditation. Um,
Sure.
because I know that that was something that you found very helpful in your life. And I wanted to share something that I found in pretty helpful in my life currently. And that's been what's called the heartfulness meditation system, or the
Mm,
Sajmark meditation system. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but it's meditating on the heart and connecting with, going deep within, connecting within yourself.
mm.
um, and also cleaning. There's a cleaning involved. I know that, as there's a ton of different, everybody's got their own little systems and this practice and stuff. And I think there's probably a lot of similarities, but can you just explain to me the meditation process that you found works for you?
Sure. Yeah. And thank you. I think the heart meditations are great. I personally do a few kinds of meditation, but the main one is Vipassana. And Vipassana is basically body scanning. So you first focus on the breath, and coming in and out. And the intention is not to control the breath. You're just letting it naturally. So it's not like Wim Hof, right? You're
Okay.
just letting it naturally come in and out. You're observing it. And then you take that ability to observe your natural breath and you basically start scanning your whole body.
Okay.
And what that does is it draws your attention away from your thinking mind into the
Sure.
sensations in your body. And as you put your attention on your sensations, your inhibited emotions that have been trapped in your body because of your thinking begin to kind of come up and go away. So
Oh,
it's a
nice.
way
Okay.
to, yeah, it's a way to really reset your mind and body and spirit.
That that sounds great.
Yeah.
It's very similar to not, I mean, not exactly the same, but it's just similar to the cleaning process that I do, where I
Yeah.
am imagining, or not imagining, I'm sorry, I have the idea that all the day's complexities and impurities are leaving my back in the form of smoke.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
and uh and then I do that for a while, and try, the idea is to focus on that and not your thoughts, right? You're not meditating, you're cleaning.
Right.
And but not dwelling, like you might get an idea of something that happened that day that was like, oh, I could have
Sure.
done this,
Instigated
whatever.
you. Yeah.
And you don't want to really like focus on that. You kind of just let it go, let it
Right.
go. And then there's and then near the end you imagine there's the energy that's above you, the stream of energy is now coming into you
Mm.
and filling that void that's been created,
From the
with everything
cleaning.
leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful, dude. I'm gonna have to try that out.
yeah, I mean, it's the heartfulness
Okay.
Sajmar, and I can send you a link and stuff.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, it's there's some aspects of that. Now, in the system that you're doing, or in what you've done, is there any transmission in what you're doing?
What do you mean?
Well, so like, um you can get these things called sittings from preceptors. Now, it's doesn't cost anything. There's no charge for anything except for if you buy books or something, right? Because then
Mm-hmm.
there's printing costs and stuff like that.
Sure.
um but the master of the system transmits to your heart.
Oh, wow.
There's a transmission that's happening that's like, uh, beyond time and space. So
Sure.
this
Sure.
is
Sure.
like, you know what I mean? To an
Yeah.
American, it's like, whoa.
Right. 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 But energy transference, basically, right?
But when you feel it,
Yeah. Totally.
you're like, this is
Wow.
like, I, this is something's going on here.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful. Yeah. I don't. I think when you open yourself up to Source, or
yeah,
call it what you will,
yeah,
Creator, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever, Christ. um, I think it begins to fill you. So I think when you're being filled from the top, there's powerful energies that are kind of circulating into your body and helping you to kind of recircuit, um, who and what you are. And depending on your kind of, I believe in vibration, and I believe in
yeah,
vibrations match. And this is kind of like the law of attraction, but it's a little bit more maybe more technical. I think the great example of that is a tuning fork, right? So if you have a room full of tuning forks and you hit a certain tone, only that tuning fork will resonate, right? So similarly, I think your creative expression, if you lay yourself open, will attract similar transmissions. And so if you're intentional with your mind and you say love and compassion, then yeah, perhaps this Buddha Christ energy is being, kind of transmuted into your body and helping you kind of recircuit who you are and giving you more love and kindness and compassion, not only for the world, but for yourself.
And I feel like that's going to be a huge part of, what comes after the system, right? That
Absolutely.
we're currently
That's
in.
actually that is the huge part, because in my opinion, bro, that's what is replacing the system, is that transmission,
Yeah.
and that's why I feel I started getting those visions, so to speak, of gardening and all of that after I started meditating. Because when I started meditating, I was releasing a lot of like trauma and emotions that were really heavy and deep, and they left a big kind of bowl.
Yeah.
And because I was trying to be as present and empty as possible, it started getting filled with something higher than what I was accustomed to. And it was full of, visions and ideas of community and of gardening and of, caring for nature and animals and all that other stuff. So um, yeah, I think when you let go of what you've been, you allow for what you can be or what you could be, right?
Well, and I think perhaps you're tapping into something that is inherent in all of us, but really
Right.
suppressed, right? It's something that is part of the I don't know if you want to call us human or whatever, man or whatever, part of our what we're supposed to do, right?
Right.
Are we supposed to be sitting in a room staring at a TV all day, or sitting in a room at a desk on a computer all day,
Right.
or are we supposed to be out working with our hands and cultivating and being a steward for nature
Right.
and you know that's that mixed, like, because I know you talk about the Native American ways and stuff like that, um and learning those more indigenous teachings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and then you mentioned something about going back to that, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going back to some things there
Mm-hmm.
with this spiritual aspect, right? So it's like, but perhaps that spiritual perhaps there was a spiritual part of what was happening at those times. It's hard to say,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously going into the future, it's going to be a step. So I think
Hmm.
it's taking the things from, I don't know, correct me if you think I'm.
No, yeah, no, I resonate with that. Yeah, I think it's funny. I think like what's going to happen to us as a collective is happening to us individually right now. And I think a lot of us are going through somewhat of an upheaval within, and a lot of kind of re-examining of who and what we are and what we're really about, and what do we really value and what do we really care about. Like maybe it's not being, number one on the Billboard charts, or being the biggest athlete in town, whatever it might be, right? Maybe
Yeah.
that kind of that chase is no longer serving us. And so individually, I think we're all being asked to inspect that a bit, and collectively that's going to show itself in the changes that we see in our society. I mean, even though it seems crazier than ever and more destructive than it's ever been in a lot of ways, I'm also inspired by the little things that I see on a day-to-day basis. I really advise people to turn off the news and walk in their community every once in a while. Like turn off the news and walk around your neighborhood every once in a while, at least, if not more than the latter, because um, that's really the real world that we're creating,
Yeah.
and you can be ratcheted up with fear and be worried about what you're seeing on the news, but a lot of that is trying to put you in a state of fear so you'll go back to consuming again, in order to kind of hide and numb that fear. But if you just, you know, distract yourself with the reality of the now, so to speak, yeah, I think we're all channeling a higher vision right now together, for sure.
Check out my chat with Jamil Suleman on Aquabrain TV, and check out Jamil's work. Amazing artist.
Check me out, baby.